I do have 3 principles that are positive that I want to leave you with. And these positive principles are to help you get through any life obstacles you have in your life. You may not have something as bad as that, but you may have something in your life that is an obstacle or a crisis to you. And there's 3 different principles that I want to share with you. Number 1 is to know him, because if we know God and we know him as our personal Savior, we will be able to get through a lot of things better than if we don't know him at all. And one of the ways to get to know him is, just like I said, to communicate with him, to talk to him every day, and to really spend time in prayer, devotions, meditation, and just really get to know him. Just like you'd want to get to know your husband. If your husband asked you to marry him on your first date, what would you say? Some people would say yes, but most of us would say, we want to get to know you, And so that's what it is with Christ. He really wants us to get to know him. And so he wants us to draw closer to us, and he just wants us to have a deeper walk with him. Number 2 is to trust him. And the Proverbs that I said before was worth repeating about trusting the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. You have to trust him with your whole heart, and you have to trust him with your whole life. You can't just trust him a little bit. You have to trust him 100%. He says our hearts can be filled with his hope if we trust him. What is it that keeps us from trusting God or having his hope? And sometimes it's just that we have been in crisis, and sometimes the Lord allows crisis to happen so that we can get to know him better. Sometimes also, this is something that I really wanted you to listen to. This is something that I quoted. God used our suffering to bring a blessing to others. This is how God is. He puts to use what he puts us through. So don't turn your back on him when you don't understand. Turn towards him and trust him, because he will always be there for you. And if you can't trust his hand, you always know that you can trust his heart. So that was one of the principles that really helped us. And the 3rd principle and last one was to stand with him. And it says, Psalms 42 says, he lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. Ladies, we all know that we all go through storms. Every one of us has gone through a storm. We've had problems with our children. We've had problems with our husbands, with our families, with parents. We all go through crisis, but we really have to learn to stand with God. And it says too often we rely on money or material things or ourselves, and we soon find out that the storms overwhelm us because we're not going to God. And like a child, when they learn to walk, they try to stand on their own, and we try to stand on our own sometimes when we don't go to God first to ask him to help us stand. And we cannot truly stand firm without Jesus, because Jesus really is our hope. He is the one that gets us through everything. And in closing, I hope these 3 principles, to know him, to trust him, to stand with him, will help you get through some of your life obstacles. And I also hope that some of my experiences in overcoming life storms have in some way helped you or encouraged you. And I want you to leave with a smile on your face, not crying, please. It was my honor to share with you today. And I just pray that God will bless you on your journey and give you hope. I just appreciate you all having me. Thank you.